probably know that Camas Washington is expensive. So is it even worth it? That's what we're talking about in today's video. Hey, welcome back to the Living in Vancouver and Camas Washington YouTube channel. I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne, and I'm so glad that you're here today because we are talking about the wonderful town that I live, work, and do business in, and that is Camas, Washington. Camas is a little city of about 25,000 here in east part of Clark County, Washington, and we're talking about how expensive it is today. I get people that reach out every single week, probably 5 to 10 people every week that are looking to move to or within Camas, Washington. And one of the topics that always comes up is, but it's so expensive. It's so much money. And today, we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why it's so expensive and ultimately, is it worth that expense? But before we start on that, I wanna share with you some numbers, some facts, because we always have to be paying attention to the numbers and the facts. So this is data that I pulled directly from the multiple listing service. And yeah, let me share it with you. So I pulled this for the last 3 months. The median home sales price in Camas over the last 3 months was $650,000. In Vancouver, which touches Camas, it's right next door, the median sales price is $464,000. And for Clark County, which encompasses Vancouver, Camas, and a whole bunch of other cities as well, that median sales price is $495,000. So when you slice and dice those numbers, what you find is that Camas is about 30% more expensive than Vancouver and Clark County as a whole. I saw times, even during the pandemic over the last 3 years, where the median sales price in Camas was 50% more expensive than Vancouver, which is right next door. They touch each other, guys. They touch each other. 50% more expensive. That is a radical difference. If we had the exact same home in Camas versus Vancouver, depending on where it is in both cities, that house could be $100,000 to even $300,000 more expensive in Camas, simply because the location has such great pull and the community just comes with great features. So I have a list of 6 things that make Camas more expensive, so we're gonna talk about those today. First thing that makes Camas significantly more expensive is that we have our own lake. We've got lake access here in Camas, which is awesome. It's called 𝐍𝐞𝐢𝐠𝐡𝐶 Lake. It's a cute lake. It's not super big. It's nothing compared to like Lake Oswego, which is not far away from us in Oregon, but it's a wonderful lake. There's not very many neighborhoods that overlook the lake, but it's beautiful to drive by and it's a staple of the community. There are multiple parks on the lake and you can hike on and around them. For 𝐍𝐞𝐢𝐠𝐡𝐶 Lake, you can hike the Heritage Trail, which is south of 𝐍𝐞𝐢𝐠𝐡𝐶 Lake. Round Lake is also attached to 𝐍𝐞𝐢𝐠𝐡𝐶 Lake, and you can walk all the way around Round Lake. It takes about 20 minutes. It's great. In the summertime, you'll see kids hanging out there, jumping in the lakes, on kayaks, on paddle boards, and of course, people like to take out their boats and jet skis there. So that lake life is kind of one of those things that attracts a lot of families, and it does pull up the cost of living in Camas. The second thing that makes Camas so expensive is that it's small town living, but it's close to everything. I did not grow up in Camas. I actually grew up north of Seattle in a little town called Lake Stevens. It was very similar to Camas. And Lake Stevens was wonderful, but we weren't close to everything. We had to drive 20 to 25 minutes to get to the nearest big city, to get to like Home Depot, Walmart, Trader Joe's, etc. Here in Camas, you're so close to East Vancouver and everything you need is on Mill Plain Boulevard and 164th Avenue. As long as you're not super deep into Camas or way up in the hills, that's gonna be like 10 to 15 minutes away. So it's very convenient, but you also get that small town living. Not to mention, you're so close to the airport. This absolutely blew my mind when I moved here many years ago. I used to have to drive an hour and a half to get to the SeaTac International Airport, Seattle-Tacoma Airport. Now I take a 15-minute car ride and I am at the international airport. That's crazy. Okay, the third reason why Camas is so expensive is because it has great ranked schools. Now, I'm sharing this from a fact-based perspective because as a realtor, I shouldn't be sharing my own personal opinions on schools per fair housing laws, but US News has Camas schools ranked as the 35th best in the country. There's a lot of schools in the United States, so being 35 on that list is an awesome accolade. I get feedback from clients, friends, family, people I know in the community all the time. They love the schools here in Camas, so you're welcome to do your own research on that, but that is one of the main things I hear from people moving here all the time. The fourth reason why Camas is so expensive is because it has a cute, thriving downtown. Vancouver is a great city as well, it's right next door, but we've got 200,000 people in Vancouver, and Vancouver is more, you know, stores and strip malls, and it's just very utilitarian. Though it's nice, it's not necessarily old. Downtown Camas is, you know, a historic place. It's been there for over 100 years, you know, brick buildings, the whole shebang, and they've really done a great job revitalizing it over the last 10 or 15 years. As the paper mill has gone out of commission, it's a lot more pleasant to be down there. Some of you might have heard that it smelled bad in Camas. Lucky you, it does not smell bad in Camas anymore because the paper mill is pretty much out of commission. So now downtown is thriving and wonderful. There are so many great restaurants, coffee shops, stores down there. They have the Camas Downtown Association, I think that's what it's called. And every first Friday of the month, they do a fun community event for kids, and the boutique owners have sales. It's really wonderful. The number 5 reason why Camas is so expensive is because honestly, it's gotten a lot of good press online and word has just spread like wildfire. I cannot tell you the number of people that call us every week and say, you know, I have a friend or I have a colleague that moved to Camas and they recommended it, or we saw it on a news article, or we saw your videos, Hannah. And it's just hard to stop those things in the 21st century. Once it picks up momentum online, it just keeps going and going and going. So I've seen that really take off over the last 5 years. And that is one of the reasons why it is more expensive here. The number 6 reason why Camas is so expensive is that it's liked for its safety. Again, this is one of those things where I'm not going to necessarily give my own opinion here due to fair housing laws. But this is feedback that I receive from lots of people that own homes or live in Camas, Washington. They feel like it's very safe here, it's a very community-oriented area, and because of that, people will pay a premium to live in a safe area. So the question at the end of the day is it worth it to live in Camas for this extra 25 to 30% in housing costs? At the end of the day, that answer is up to you. For me, the answer was yes. My business, my office is here in Camas, so is my personal home, and I help a lot of clients buy and sell homes in Camas. So I think it's worth it. But everyone has different price sensitivities, so I'm not gonna come out and say that you're right or wrong. At the end of the day, it's your opinion. And hey, if you are thinking about moving to or within Camas or anywhere in Clark County, Washington, myself and my team at Dubyne Realty Group would love to be of service to you. You can text us, DM us on Instagram, email us. We would love to help you out. Also subscribe to our weekend newsletter, Weekend Happenings with Hannah, and keep up with the best local events happening every single weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.